Alrighty, let us talk now about the president's recent transfer of cash to Iran. We know it happened, and we know it happened while the House and the Senate were away on recess, but now they're back. Congress is back in session, and at least one senator is seeking some answers from our president. One America's John Hines has more on this from Washington.
It may be fair to say that President Obama's cash payments to Iran came as a surprise to the American people and to the Congress. Now, Senator James Lankford is trying to find out how and why an American president sent currency from banks in the Netherlands and Switzerland to the Ayatollah in Iran.
Iran is the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world. There's no question about that. The administration agrees with that. No one has any hesitation on it. One of the things you don't want to do to the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world is to be able to give them cash that they can spend any way they want to, and no one can trace it. We just sent, as a nation, $1.7 billion in cash to the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world. I think there are a lot of questions about why, how, and how does this not happen again in the future.
And Lankford has now posed those questions in a letter to the president. Another point that troubles Lankford is that most of the money paid to Iran came from a taxpayer-funded account called the Judgment Fund.
So the president initially came out and said the $400 million in cash sent to Iran was their money, and we're just returning it to them. Technically, that's true. It's from the previous government, from the Shah. That's $400 million that's been in an account in escrow since 1979, held in a DOD account. So that part was returned. The $1.3 billion in interest payments was taken from the Judgment Fund. Those are taxpayer dollars, and he doesn't like to talk about that, but that's the bigger issue here, is the taxpayer dollars that were actually sent in a cash payment as well.
And using taxpayer dollars for foreign payments requires the approval of Congress, says George Landreth, president of the Freedom Foundation.
The founders did see a role for the legislature to play in foreign policy, and certainly when you're doling out cash, we know that money matters begin in the House. So it seems to me pretty clear that there is some role to play, even when we recognize that generally foreign policy is conducted by the president. Senator Lankford says that normally when taxpayers pay their taxes, they do not anticipate that their tax dollars will go to a nation like Iran, particularly at a time when the U.S. military is facing a decrease in funding. Lankford has asked the president for answers to his questions, 13 in all, by September 19th. John Hines, One America News, Washington.